but I got it. We're fine.
I mean, hey, Thor's the chosen one for the hammer. Maybe you're the chosen one for the hammer too.
I guess
Like,
so.
hey, the
But
kids are. The kids are. I mean, look at their logo. That hammer right there.
that's true. They already got the hammer. So to be honest, I think they're. I think this is their set.
They've got a lead, yeah.
But no. So I looked at the standings real quick right before we got into this. Trash Pandas 3-1 currently. And Kittens with Mittens 0-4. However, don't let that 0-4 fool you. Kittens with Mittens have been looking pretty good actually. Like, yeah, they haven't won a set, but they've been at least giving some top teams a run for their money. And I've been hearing that their scrims have been going very well recently. So I'm excited to see how they perform today.
Yeah, same here. But so 3-1, they're definitely looking for a win. I mean, you don't fall to 3-2. I mean, you're still positive in that sense, but it's that momentum they get from being so far up in the positive. And Ken comes with Mins. They're looking for the first win, and of course, they definitely need their first win. So both teams are really fine to get their positions in the standings up.
Yeah, and the fact that like most of the teams right now in Thor Division are 3-1, like there's a good chunk of them at 3-1, a couple that were 4-0. Well, besides today, I mean, I know a couple games have happened already, but not counting those, most of the teams are 3-1. So going 3-2 will put you a bit behind those other teams. But still not the end of the world, like you said, still positive. But that does stop the momentum. So
yeah, 4-1 looks a lot better than 3-2, and just throughout the entirety of the season.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And of course, obviously, it's very obvious that the main objective here is to win. But I think, honestly, if Kittens win this set, I think it's going to be a bigger momentum push for them rather than Trash Pandas because Kittens Women's haven't won a set, obviously. So, again, that one set win, that could spiral, right? That could especially help them feel better, more confident going into the future sets. So,
like you mentioned, though, they've been giving teams a run for their money each time they've lost. So it's just getting that last little bit, that final score that actually puts you ahead.
Yeah, I believe there was actually a couple of roster moves for this squad too. I know Blubber Ducky getting demoted from the Odin division down into Thor. And then I think they made a trade. There were so many Thor trades that happened this week that they're all starting to blend together. Let me just actually double check before I lose my mind. I can't find
Hopefully
the
for
trade.
Blubber Ducky, though, he performs pretty well. I mean, yeah, it sucks being dropped down the division for your thing, but I mean, look at it like from baseball standpoint. We get dropped down from the majors to like AAA per se. You still look, typically you're supposed to still look leagues ahead of the people who are in AAA. So hopefully Blubber Ducky just continues what he could normally do and just continues a strong performance in this, and hopefully gets back up for his own sake.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with underperforming. If you're underperforming, then I think it's not. Some people think it's embarrassing to get demoted, but to be honest, I think it's just helping you find more where your skill set belongs at this current time. So, Ducky going down is not a bad thing by any means. I did hear rumors that he might be playing ADC today, so that would be different because he's been playing a lot of support the last few seasons. So going back to ADC, which I believe was his first role, so we'll have to see if that's actually true.
And everyone has slumps, so especially when you drop down a division like this, it reinvigorates you. It gets you back in that, tries to get back in that positive mindset and that energy to fight your way back up and get out of that slump. And with him, yeah, like you said, him going back to ADC, I mean, I'll have to see how he performs. But speaking of ADC, though, you look at all the chips and meta. You look at like certain lanes that like never built stacks for like several seasons. You look at mid with Warlock staff. You look over ADC now, and gods like Artemis, who have not been meta for like seasons upon years, are finally coming back with these new builds that we're seeing. Do you think she'll make an impact for these new types of ADCs? Will make an impact for either of these teams?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Artemis has been played quite a bit, not only just SPL, but like I've seen it a lot in Valhalla recently. Of course, I think she got like a small buff to her clear, but that wasn't the big thing. That was the change. It was the removal of boots, allowing the build pass for ADCs to be completely different, and now she could just build all the bows. And with that attack steroid she gets from her 2, that 80%, that mixed with Silver Branch, oh, that's such a disgusting combo. So
yeah, ironically enough, one role that normally built stacks doesn't build it anymore. We've seen a lot of bow builds and bow only builds for the most part. Usually they put an Aussie second or third to get a good power spike and get that life, so they typically miss by not going Devos anymore. But I think that's also too what helps Artemis is that Ichabod start. It's just so much power for her in the early game.
Yeah, a character that once just suffered so much from like the early and even part of the mid game, now has a much better time, allowing her to actually farm up and become the late game monster that she always is. So I think that's pretty much a big reason why Artemis is just so popular. And of course, I think she's a very simple hunter compared to some of the other ones. So I think that simplicity also allows more players to be able to have access to her. So
I mean, if you look at her passive too, I mean, that change over time where she basically has a Runeforge passive now, 15% extra damage off of targets that are slowed. And like I said with Ichabod too, she basically gets like 100 power within one item in the early game, which is just absolutely insane for most roles, but especially for ADC.
yeah, absolutely. I know I don't know if Blubber is playing AC. If he is, I will be the AC for Kittens Mittens. And then getting cocky, the AC for Trash Pandas. I don't know if they have. I haven't seen either one play Artemis. I'm assuming they have one, but I just haven't seen them from either player yet. But I assume, like I said, that they'll be able to pull it out. But are there any other like? I mean, Morgan Le Fay legal now.
Yeah.
Do we expect to see Morgan Le Fay here in the set, or do you think maybe some teams are kind of not prioritizing her?
Well, we'll see her, but not in the way that she wants to be seen. I think she'll be banned out, if anything, with how she's been performing, how people have been seeing her. But Baba Yaga, though,
Hmm.
she's seen a huge spike. I mean, no boots, obviously, we mentioned again, like I mentioned earlier, the Warlock staff being added. And you have, within 2 items, Warlock staff and the Sharon's coin, you have 30% pen at 2 items in, which is just insane. I mean, tanks, that support, you can just easily keep on picking them off time and time again and get that lead. There's a lot of interesting picks I've been able to come back into the game with the removal of boots.
Yeah, to be honest, it's been pretty refreshing. I feel like, I mean, solo lane wise, I feel like the meta's been pretty stale for most of the season until now. I think now there's quite a
Yeah,
few different options to pick, but like,
John
yeah,
Quee.
yeah, Jean Kui. um, Definitely seeing the rise. I think Guardians and mages in general, I just feel better in solo.
I
But
mean,
I feel like there's just a lot of good god variety right now, which is very nice and refreshing. I feel like the top 6 bands aren't always going to be the same, which is really refreshing. I feel like maybe Tiamat's still the one. Personally, I feel like Tiamat's still
yeah,
ridiculous. But I feel like besides that one, I feel like every other gods, and yeah, there's stronger gods, but I feel like every other god is in a pretty good spot, even if they are stronger meta picks. But I don't feel like any of them are like I have to absolutely get rid of this. If that makes sense.
yeah. There's way too many gods that are too good to. I mean, there's too little bands to ban too many gods. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, yeah, look at Soul Lane, for example. I mean, Mystical Mail has been first rush for a lot of gods, and that's actually let Guardians surprisingly come back in Soul Lane, along with the Vampiric Shroud changes, which I want to see RDOB play a bit more because I think she's secretly dirty with the Bloodstroke Shroud upgrade to Vampiric Shroud. She basically becomes a King Arthur. I think that's being low key slept on.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually played Ardio in a couple scrims, and she definitely feels really good in lane. Like laney phase, of course, that's never really been a big problem from her was laney phase, but laney phase feels really strong. Late game, luckily, sadly, one of them I wasn't even able to get the upgrade, but I did get one of them for the other, and it does feel really nice. It definitely, I don't think it's like King Arthur Glad Shield levels, but it
Well,
definitely
yeah,
does
it's not
feel
like
nice.
that, but it's the
Of course,
closest you
she's.
can,
Mhm.
closest you can get to it. I mean, if King Arthur comes out with Gladio like that again, I think there's gonna be a few issues. But
Yeah, I think RDO can definitely see a possible comeback. I think she still has the biggest problem with like a very predictable dash, and of course, just no CC
yeah,
immunity. Kind of opens up some strong counter picks. However, maybe like a ninth or 10th pick option for RDO. I think maybe it's actually going to be pretty good. So maybe we'll see. I know RDO. So shout out to Haggerty who does the stats, like the pick and ban stats and all the win rates and all that stuff for not pick a bans. I think he does picks and just wins because we obviously don't have all the data for bans. But Ario, one of the like 16 guys I think in the Thor division that has not seen any play yet. So maybe we'll have to break that seal.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, or though, I mean, upgrade Sunder makes it pretty hard for most tanks to do their job, and with Arya, like you said, the dash, it's just you kind of gotta have an escape to an extent to be a frontliner these days with how Sunder's been working against these tanks.
Oh yeah, and no, I do believe Sunder did receive a small nerf actually in the bonus update we just received Tuesday, I believe, or is that next week? No, I think we got it. Yeah, we got it. Okay, it's it was only something small. It was like 7.5% of your max health down to 5 per shot, but it still does the damage, the increased damage taken, which I think is the big problem. So,
Yep.
and of course the shield damage, and so it's just Sunder's really good.
Speaking of updates, though, not necessarily impactful for the game itself, but earlier today, Hyra has tweeted, "We're getting old Bacchus back as a skin. That's gonna be a fun thing to see again. He is Bach."
Oh my goodness! I started playing around late season 3, so I do remember old Bacchus, but Bacchus remodel is actually like what, early season 4. So like for me, I'm so used to new Bacchus that like old Bacchus is not really fresh in my mind. But that's actually pretty cool. I think that's a good idea. They've been bringing back a lot of the classic. After any god has had a remodel, they've been bringing back the classic look in case people want to still run it. And of course,
Yeah.
you can buy it with favor, so you don't have to spend money on the gems to get, which is super cool. But that's actually pretty neat. I wonder, is there any other gods left that they maybe
Oh,
could
there's a
do that with?
handful. There's several. I mean, you got Hebo, technically Hell. Hell had a completely different look to her way back in the good old beta days. I mean that didn't she didn't get seen outside of she didn't see outside of that form within like the first season. I think she quickly got that change to her looks. Bagasura, technically, he was a bit. I think he was a bit shorter and had those his butcher blades were a bit more sharper, I would say, back then.
Hmm.
But
Well, maybe we'll see those being brought back. I mean, I feel like it is a very easy skin to make since they probably most likely have the data somewhere. But I guess they maybe got to update it to make it look a bit
I
better
mean,
with
they
the
got a
more
little Joust
modern look
map
of the game.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old Joust map. So I mean, they can bring that back. They can bring most things back. I think, unless some poor intern might have accidentally deleted the files. But
Those darn interns always ruining everything for us. Looks like they are just about ready to go, and looks like they were taking a bit. Sometimes it happens, but looks like they're just confirming with KWM to make sure they are ready. That we will get into it and see the picks and bans. Hopefully, we got the picks and bans screen running because I absolutely adore it, and I'm so happy that Phoenix got that set up.
I mean, I saw a sneak peek of it before we started, and it looks great. But yeah, I mean, teams just love being fashionably late. That's just how teams like to run.
Whenever they found out they're casted, they're like, "All right, we're gonna start at the last possible second to make sure we don't forfeit this game." But
They just want to make our jobs harder. I mean, we're casting.
yeah, yeah. Just because we're casters for league doesn't mean we have 15 minutes of stuff to talk about, you silly guys. But
Yeah, this may you guys might have to take a gem pay reduction from that.
a gem pay reduction, yeah.
It's just like how high the employees get paid. I mean, you talk about here Aggro all the time talking about his gem pay.
His gem pay. That's funny. I don't think I've actually even heard him say that, but that's pretty good. Oh, all right. I was just informed that looks like one of the players on KWM's power surged out, so they are resetting to
Yeah.
get him back in. So unfortunate, but that's okay, man. Gotta love when tech issues happen, right?
There's a good few storms around. I mean, I almost had a tornado dropped on top of me within the last week, so I don't blame people for losing that power. It just happens.
Oh yeah, I mean that's not something you can control, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe if you ask one of the gods in the game to do it, but
yeah.
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 I mean, I'm a chalk main. My god controls thunder and rain, but I don't think he controls tornadoes. Unfortunately, I think that's Cuckoo's
Yeah.
job.
I was I guess gotta start playing a bit more cuckoo to to prevent that from happening. Man, a lot of places are getting storms, but like it's been super dry here all summer. It's been awful. Like all the grass and just the leaves look so sad. Such a bummer. And of course, I mean, honestly, I don't want to have a tornado, but I would like a storm here and
Yeah.
there, please.
I
But
mean, storm's always nice. It's just when they get a bit too spicy, for your power to go out. That's when it becomes an issue. I remember from where I'm from, though, normally tornadoes don't actually they aren't severe, but this time around it was like they went from saying, "Oh, we have a tornado watch in here," and we're here, there really shouldn't be a real tornado threat to. There is a path going across the entire state of possible tornado landings. So, yeah, what can you do? 2021.
yeah, just just don't be surprised by anything at this point, right? So, I looked at the rosters here. An interesting matchup I'm kind of curious is these mid players, because we got Bastende here on KWM and Ashen Eclipse on Trash Pandas. Now, I know me and you know Ashen from Cleety, actually.
I think I've teamed with him when he was on Kittens with Mittens and Cleety, I
Yeah.
believe. At one point,
So, but he's coming over here to Valhalla League to play here for us as well. And I think both these mid laners are pretty good in skill. Someone to play the Jeopardy theme song.
Yeah.
I like that
Although
idea.
Ashton's a bit of a traitor then for leaving the Cleety or leaving the Kittens with Mittens team. I'll have to talk about that. But yeah, I mean, mid's I think people actually somewhat sleep on mid's potential with what they can do, especially now with again like what I mentioned with guys like Baba Yaga who have like 30% pen immediately. The types of leads they can push are I think it's swept under the rug more than it actually should. I think everyone's too focused on the ADCs who just go pew pew pew, and next thing you know the enemy jungle was dead because they got crit 3 times.
Yeah.
But I mean, you look at guys like Raiden, for example. I mean, they absolutely tear through team fights. I mean, he completely just he'll drop his Raiju on one person, take them down to half, and then they'll bounce to a tank and take them down a quarter. It's just they do sneaky amounts of damage that I think people underestimate.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just because I'm bad, but I also feel like I get shredded more by mids and carries this season. I stepped away for a while myself, and then when I came back, I don't know if maybe like my skill just plummeted, or if it's just they are just more better at shredding. But yeah, they hurt. They definitely hurt. So it actually mid right now with Thor division is super stacked. Like super stacked. I think that's probably the most stacked role in the Thor division. So it's very competitive, very fun role to watch. Like these players play against each other. So I did just receive word though that it looks like they are gonna start now. We are gonna get into these picks and bans right here. Nice, beautiful transition. Shout out to Phoenix. So I guess yeah, we had about 20 minutes to talk about it, but I guess now we can start talking about since it's happening. What kind of pick bans do you expect here from both these squads?
Well, like you mentioned before, Tiamat is either gonna be banned by Trash Pandas or maybe Kids of Men's looks for labor. Actually, Athena, a god that has somewhat fallen off. Actually, it's still being looked at, I suppose. And Tiamat right there.
There it is. Yep. Yeah, I agree. I think Athena's been it's been overvalued a lot here in Thor division. I think maybe just the simplicity of Athena is very nice for the players. So it's not very high skill execution god. Maybe that's possibly why we see it highly prioritized. But
everyone remembers Starfighter.
No, if the taunt is annoying, that doesn't really matter at what skill level you are. That taunt's frustrating, but yeah, I've been seen to be in first band a lot.
2 warriors next though. I mean, Gilgamesh, no surprise, he does a lot of damage and he has a lot of control. Same thing with Odin, who hasn't been picked as much, but he's still sneaking back. And with Loki being banned and Morgan, like I said, unfortunately, she won't be able to see the first match of the day.
And then Trash Band was taking that Sobek right away. Sobek pretty good. He's saw his return back into solo. He's still good flex into support. I think I mean, I don't hate the first pick. I think there might have been some other options that could have worked, but you know what?
Yeah.
I think having a flex pick there is perfectly fine.
I mean, Sobek's that meme where the guy hands the guy a plate of food, and the plate of food is nerfs, and he just swipes off the table,
Yeah.
launches it away like I don't care.
Yeah.
The old solo back, he'll always be a thing. Osiris
Yeah.
though, so I've seen him be picked in the jungle and in solo. I wonder where he'll go exactly. 'Cause he definitely can flex.
Oh yeah, he's another strong flex option too. I've seen some people pop off on the jungle. It's hard to say which one I think he's better at because to be honest, I don't think he's better in either. I think it just really depends on the team composition and the player itself. Giannis though and Soul, both mid laners that have been played all season long, still seeing some popularity.
And there's that Artemis. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, so Soul, right before Boots got removed, she saw a huge rise in popularity because of how Lifesteal worked with Magus, Typhons, and Lifesteal Boots, which sadly don't exist anymore. But she still is a very good. She still does good mage damage, even though she's an AA focused god.
Yeah, that's I think that was always like one of the most frustrating things for like maybe newer players was that Soul's like has strong auto attacks, right? She's kind of got that mage ADC feel, but you were supposed to build her more mage style if you played her in the mid role. So I know that confused some of my friends who don't play this game
Ooh.
often that I would play with, but
There's hold on. I want to see where the Soul goes because there's a sneaky mage AC build that's being built. But I don't want to say until I'm confirmed on where she's going. Fenrir and Tsukiyomi, though, banned out. No surprise. Fenrir has seen a rise back into prevalence again, basically because, or mostly because of the fact that you can build a bit tankier in the jungle now, and he definitely favors a sort of tankier, sort of hybrid style because he can flex over from early damage to tank pretty easily. But Nemesis, Blind Vengeance, picked up by Mittens.
very interesting pick. I'm wondering what the reason is. I don't like super hate the pick, but I mean, I don't think Nemesis is that great right now. So I'm curious on what the logic is behind it. I mean, I guess Shred's so bad because he's hard to kill, but
She doesn't have
I'm
CC
not
immunity, though,
sure.
and that's the best thing to have against Artemis, is
Hmm.
that CC immunity. Because, I mean, her boar is basically her last line of defense, and maybe her traps, but if you beads the boar, you're also likely beadsing a trap at the same time because she places both of them down to escape. But yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Magi be picked up by the Nem. I think it's definitely a good pickup.
Yeah, I mean, with the Sobek pluck, and of course, you mentioned the boar from Artemis. That's not something you you really want to deal with without like a easy way to neutralize that CC. But Mercury being hovered here with the Terra seen some play as well, kind of returning back in, and that will be the lock in. Mercury is still being hovered.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I was gonna say with Mercury, they definitely lack a lot of AoE. I mean, it was basically 3 straightforward line gods, but now you got 3 gods that have great teamfight ultimates, and that puts on its head. Tachibana gets locked in last.
Yeah, so it's Soul mid, so no Soul ADC for you. So unfortunately, you're not gonna you won't say that secret
Hey,
build you
Hachi
got
could go
going
mid.
on.
You never know.
Yeah, you know what? I guess you're right.
But no,
But
long story short, though, the build for Soul would be Animosity with Warlock Staff Rush,
mm,
and then just all rings.
interesting. And just shred towers and
Yeah,
Phoenix. Yeah, I'm
shred
about it.
everything.
Yeah. You know, I actually prefer this Dodge over the Mercury because now, granted, I don't think I doubt that kids with mittens. I don't know who's going to be in that support role right now, but I doubt their support would be able to wall off the alt every time. But
Mm.
that is very frustrating to get your alt walled off by your wall. So I think this works out much better here for the Stretch Panda squad. And of
And
course, just
again,
provides a lot more CC pressure. So
yeah, and then them again doesn't have CC immunity.
mhm.
Look at the Hunter role though. They got great early game in Hachiman versus great team fight in late game in Artemis. So hopefully for Kims and Mins, they can push out early lead because I mean they have Ymir who loves the early game. You got Soul who has a decent early mid game. Obviously late game, you know, she just throws a couple sun balls at a tower and it's gone. But definitely good
So
early.
I don't know if it was a mistake or if there appears to be a role swap here. But Deputy Mufin, from my knowledge, it was the solo of this squad. But he's playing the Dodgy and Light was playing jungle. But I guess Light's gonna support. I know Nyx is a solo laner, so that makes sense. So I guess, yeah, I guess we're doing a bit of role swapping here.
One
Interesting.
thing
All right.
I'm looking at the core damage dealers in Trash Pandas. A lot of them are heavily late game focused. I mean, Dodgy does way better in the late game. Giannis, I mean, yeah, he can half hit you from 3 rounds in, but that one shot is what his main thing is. And Artemis, I mean, like I said, late game team fight Hunter. So hopefully with Trash Pandas, they're able to stem any bleeding that can possibly happen from Kittens and Mittens in their powerful early game.
Also, Jordan, make sure you swap Light and Cocky and fix KWM's side. No. Easy, gotcha, bud. Shout out to Jordan. He's our spectator for this set today. I forgot to introduce him because I'm a bad caster. I'm sorry, Jordan, but I think we're getting it. Idrox playing. Oh no, he is starting jungle, I believe. But yeah, Blubber is actually gonna be playing support. Boom playing ADC. So it looks like that rumor was false. Maybe it was something they were playing around in scrims and they decided maybe the Blubber support is much better, but.
Or maybe they took a take from that so can just lie about things that he says one thing on one thing and then in game he does exactly opposite. Only tier 1 sprint, so no cheeky little haste play that we're looking for.
Yeah, a very interesting pickup here for the Heavenly, but
I mean, it's gonna be good against gods like Osiris. Nemesis has 2 slows.
Trying to get a bit of poke here. Look like a bit of a mid skirmish. Dodgy taking a little bit of poke, but I don't think we're gonna see a kill. But actually, Dodgy kind of going in right with those thousand cuts, but nothing's really gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, she knew that Billy's going to cool down. Safe enough to go up there without having any issue. Because realistically, the only thing that's gonna slow you at this point is Nemesis is 2, which is your slow.
Yeah, can we make sure we try to swap to third person, please, if you can. I don't remember the command off the top of my head.
And the Amir gets trapped in place, but yeah, not a lot of damage. Arm's early game. 4 days.
Yeah, hold on.
Pretty much it. Another spot combo. Not a giving into death combo though, unfortunately. The shot was just a bit too late. And very early came from Dodgy with rank in. Jump, no dash. Should be confirmed with the 2, and it will be. No spot in.
I'll let you have it. I'm gonna try to help Jordan here.
2 perfect blocks there from Light. I mean, I wish I had that, because when I played comp, the one god that was very hard cold on was so back in, it was those little blocks. I was putting myself into the tower line rather than getting a good plug onto an enemy. I think forward there.
Try C, Jordan. I don't know if you've done it yet. And that's the guide says. I forgot to. You can also click on the bottom. You can also click on the bottom right of your screen, pull that arrow up, and you can do it that way too, I believe. And then, maybe not actually. That's fine. There we go. Haha! You can pull that back down. There we go. Sorry about that, everybody. But it looks like Ymir crunching around here on this Artemis, who is alone, but not much follow up here from Boom. So I guess just kind of maybe trying to pressure out the beads. Also hits F1, I believe, to get the team like build menu. It's F1 or F2. Actually, it's probably F2.
Yeah, but luckily though, for Kittens and Mittens, I mean,
There you go.
using both your dual laners that early on, not the best thing in the world, especially for a duo that's supposed to be very aggressive.
Yeah, sorry, I missed out trying to help him find the thing, but yeah, oh, we got a ganker though on mid, very low health. Giannis taking the soul ultimate, but will actually survive. Forces Dodgy up into ult. Does get 1, 2 pulls? No, just one chain. But Ymir here with some nice peel gets a freeze to prevent any further damage onto the carries and well, carry and jungle. And looks like nobody will die from that engagement. Lots of ults traded though, and a couple beats.
So, unfortunately, I mean, you got kind of pre-fire or guess their direction beforehand, as you saw. Unfortunately, the soul was flipped to the right before the left to the right, which was where the ounce was able to path. I mean, no one has a full item yet, so yeah, full item and maybe full die.
Oh, a pluck onto this Ymir, which is a very interesting choice, as Ymir probably won't die here. Giannis ult, but completely misses. This is a very... he dodges the freeze by going through the portal.
I think those were safe here, though. I think I think it was Nemesis died to chew off on him. I mean, very safe and sorry.
Yeah, very interesting. Well, this is a
online. Actually, he didn't even go starter, so yeah, he got a ton of cooldown down already.
Interesting the choice of no starter. I mean, I feel like with how popular Vamp Shroud is right now, I feel like that would have been a pick. But I guess maybe it's not the best on Giannis, so I can understand that. But I still like Sansa Time could have been an option. But I guess he just rushing the Chronos. I don't hate it, especially on Giannis. You want to rotate as much as you can with that ultimate, so makes sense.
We got Sans Plus. You got Sansa Time Plus online essentially already, so
true. But interesting. It's very interesting that we're seeing this much aggression from both squads this early. I mean, I guess it's calmed down for the last like 30 seconds, but like that's a lot of fighting that we saw that early. Typically, it's a lot more farm heavy with maybe like a gank here and there, but no. I mean,
normally you
they're all
don't see gank at level 2 or 3 that early. I mean, it was just again 2 very good plucks from the Sobek, who's no caster's curse. Hopefully, has been completely on point with those plucks so far.
Somebody in chat asking how do you guys feel about Idrox. I feel like he's a solid player. I've scrimmed against him a few times. He's definitely well. So I don't have any quarrels with him. It is interesting though to see Deputy moving here, run the jungle. I'm 99% sure he's a solo laner because that's why I've seen him pretty much every game on this trash man squad. But I don't know. I guess just kind of move some stuff around, but wow, that's a lot of aggression. A nice freeze and a solo onto the Sobek. Forces him to go into the lurking waters. But on the other hand, Soul might actually die. Does get to separate off and is immune, but the Soul comes out, does not connect. Snemesis is all onto the Scottish. How's nobody dying? There's so many ults and everything being pulled, but nobody falling. Maybe actually Sobek here as the portal's not longer there. Yeah, there's no way he makes. Okay, maybe. Oh my goodness.
That's a lot.
Oh, nope. Okay. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Nemesis does get the kill on G. But Ymir will fall on the backline of it. Sobek is still alive and kicking. Here's a rotation from Token Billy trying to get the kill. Bastante finishes off Ashen. There's a trophy Bakaki with another kill. What is going on over here? And both Sobek still lived.
Yeah, I told you. He just took that plate nerf and just chucked it off the table. He does not care about nerfs. He will pull stuff like that still somehow.
Oh my goodness, that's gotta be super frustrating from this Kittens women's squad. But they got a couple picks.
2-for-1. They did get the better of that number 3.
I mean, I think they still lost 2. I think they lost Ducky as well, but Ducky respawned by the time that fight ended. So, but oh my goodness, that was that was all over the place here. But now, gonna calm down a bit. Go back to farming. Hockey though, with this 2-level lead over Boomhev, you think that rotation's what kind of gave him this massive boost?
I mean, they both rotated over. I think it's partially because of that level 3 gank, and probably has been sneaking out those little harpies on the side. So yeah. Snipe's a solo lane though.
Ooh. Yeah, Giannis ulting over, trying to save the life of the Terra solo, which we haven't even touched on, but there is another fight engaging. Osiris, he's a Lord of the Afterlife, but Idrox is going to fall because of the triple rotation here. Dodgy goes up into the ult, does not pull Osiris a little too far away. 1-for-1 trade again, jungle for solo, but here comes the gank onto this Artemis. Nice freeze, and that's a lot of damage. More comes out, but the Ymir to prevent any stun, but the autos are not connecting, but they will eventually get the kill. But Blopper Dougie almost losing his life in that engagement.
I think the Artemis could have gotten a kill on that Ymir if the trap was on the Ymir. If I'm being 100% honest. But yeah, it's Terra solo though. I mean, He is one of the few guardians that can definitely go solo. Obviously, she's memed on for the terrible 1 through 2. You know, she has an abysmal level 1 through 2, I should say, honestly. It's when she gets that third ability online, whether it's the 2 or the 1, whichever one you want to dash through. In that sense, where you just instant clear wave at that point. But this Lotus Crown first, I'm not too sure of. I mean, probably would have liked to see a breastplate of Valor instead. I mean, sure, pick it up later, but I don't know about first item.
Yeah, I'm not too sure because I don't expect this to Terra to really rotate, so you're not really gonna get the full benefit of healing your teammates this early. I mean, yeah, you'll heal yourself, but I mean, typically you don't use the pillar for healing in solo. Typically you use that to dash through to clear wave, but Cyrus here proxying this Terra. Okay, it makes sense. Soul comes out onto the Giannis in mid. Once again, Giannis will live through it though. But here comes Deputy moving onto the gang, onto this Osiris, and he whistles all the way to the blue buff and just walk back in and pick it up. He's got a Lord of the Afterlife out of there, and I don't think they catch him. I mean, Dodgy is looking for it. Dodgy still does have the ultimate, but with that mystical mail online, I don't know if Dodgy has enough to finish it off. And Token Billy would just run away with the blue buff.
I mean, because of people game though, difficult just.
Oh,
okay, the 2 people here.
Oh yeah, there's 4 members over here going for the gold here, but they will not get it. Bumper Ducky forcing his ultimate will fall, but Deputy moving and getting cocky, get a kill of her own here. Vestente falls, and now the pluck on Hydrox, and he will be the 3rd member here, and this opens up the gold for Trash Pandas. That did not go as expected.
I mean, now that's something we put out earlier, but now it's one of the best majors that came back and here, unfortunately, caught a bit too far up, so basically have 4v4 at that point anyways.
And Trash Pandas.
He's doing the speed too as well. He's got a Doom Orb online, or tier 2 of a Doom Orb, like you said, at the moment.
That's interesting. That's an item we do not really see often. How do you feel about this being picked up here?
I mean, personally, I like the item. I mean, it's a huge amount of power. I was like a fan of Seraphon before it got meta. You know, I like all those sort of weird little side stats items get, such as Doom Orb, which has I believe like 4 different stats like power, mana, MP5, and what else I'm missing out on unfortunately at the moment. But I personally like this item. Ask some my mid friends, they will probably say they don't like it, but I personally like it. I think it's a good item. Lots of power.
Yeah, power, movement speed. Oh, wait. Yeah, Token Billy once again proxying, and here comes Moofin again. But I mean, I guess it actually might help because it might stop Cyrus from taking this. But it actually, I disagree because Hydrox is coming here on the counter rotation. He goes for the blue buff, will not get it though. But this is a little low. But Giannis all maybe makes this an engagement. Lord of the Afterlife force out here, but no kill.
It's like a Billy trick. It is like a
nice. Whoa.
Oh my.
Giannis luckily has the portal to get out, but that was a beautiful wall off of Lucky. But Idrak coming in with the cleanup, nice little dash into making sure that Ashton will not get out of that situation.
Yeah, Giannis, he has 1 pearl, but once that 1 pearl is down, he's just a sing best like every other mage. And this is going into another island from that single series. That should be a short one, I believe.
Hopefully, because he is going to need some pen. Hopefully you see some flat pen after that, but got a little 3v3 engagement here. Well, no, I guess more 2 and 2. Terra actually in the mid lane, just kind of letting the right tower fall. Not really getting anything out of it. Losing a lot of farm.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and Terra's not necessarily supposed to win lane, but it's a bit tougher when you're up against a big old bully like a Cyrus. One that can up against healing too, which is yeah, sure the one thing most of these Guardian Souls try and lay on is a little bit of extra healing.
Yeah, I mean, this Terra definitely could make a big impact in the later game, but unfortunately, this laning phase, like you mentioned, against especially Cyrus, who's just a bully, is going to be tough. But only being a little behind is actually pretty good, especially, with just that tier tower getting taken away. But as long as this Terra can stay farmed up and rotate when needed, I think this Terra can definitely make the impact that
Yeah, I mean, she's got a lot of tactical, like a lot of tactical items online. Like, you got Bliss Crown, which is for, you know, the extra protections. You got Binding, which is for protection Shred on the side. I'm guessing this is going to be a Void Stone possibly coming up. Maybe a Fall secretly. That was the Void Stone.
Interesting. Oh, Nemesis bowling out this poor Artemis. Boomhead will be rewarded that kill. Getting cocky, does fall. Dodgy up into the pillars, does get the chain, but I believe Beads was popped there. And that engagement's gonna kind of just... Yeah, no, they got the pick there. They're gonna take off. Unfortunately, no Fury for them to take, and they're just gonna go back to farming.
Interestingly enough, no Asi yet for either ADC. Normally, like where they're the Oboe, and then goes in the Oboe, but lacking on life still. I mean, you can much easier or have a much easier time diving these ADCs for the time being. For any of these back or any of these dive gods. Both of Taji's looking at stacks. At 21 now. I mean, she's like a coach, and sometimes you see people who don't even have it stack up by 20 minutes in. So.
Well, I mean, Movement's been kind of involved in a lot of these fights, so having 22 stacks is actually pretty good considering how often he's been involved. So I think that's solid. Hopefully he can finish this up though, because absolutely, like you mentioned, not getting that fully stacked after a while can really hurt you. So, but Fury here respawning and Mittens grouping around and getting ready for it.
Yeah, I mean, they did this last time and they ended up actually losing the fight. So hopefully for them, they can do this fight a bit more better than last time.
Here, also they can secure these Harpies in safety. Token Billy on the rotation. Same with Nyx, though. So we're going to have a pretty good 5v5. But Boom, actually not there at the moment, but I don't think they knew that, so they couldn't start an engagement.
Yeah, it's cool for his... I mean, it's an Oni Fury. It might be able to get tier 1s now, but...
oh, no. Yeah.
I mean, it's go back, so he'll probably live, and looks like he does for the moment.
Yeah, but Boomhep taking a lot of damage. Just not going to connect it. Will Boomhep does fall here to Ashen, and now the fight is on. Light goes, Deputy Movement goes up into the pillars. Does pull somebody, but I don't know if they'll be able to kill him. There's a lot of low health bars. This fight is completely split off. Those Cyrus just zoning out 3 of them. But Stunton comes in with a huge ultimate and gets 2, but on the other side, sorry, not Drox. Well, actually, yeah, it was him. Sorry, my apologies. And Billy do fall, but same with Blubber Ducky. That fight was very back and forth, but Trash Pandas are gonna get the better end of it.
Yeah, I think actually a huge part of that fight comes down to the fact that W Movement, he hit one person with his ult. He pulled someone who was diving the backline all the way back to his own backline, which gave it the backline could have been enough time to really get the damage off and get these kills that they got for the 4-1 with Red Blue.
Yeah, that was just really well done, honestly. I'm surprised that fight went the way it was, especially with Token Billy zoning out 3 of them. But I guess just the other 2 members for putting in a ton of work.
I mean, that's, as little as that Daji pull looked like it was, I think it was actually a pretty decent factor in that fight. And something you typically see about most supports now, building 10, but not one of the supports, it's actually the solo laner, Terra, going the 10 item.
Interesting.
I mean, this will likely be a Magus, I think. Terra kind of looking at that. A lot easier to get to how ultimate works.
Yeah, Mega.
But if you look at like Emoja, and you build a Deso on her because she actually gets, I believe, 2 Omi back per assist, which is ridiculous for her. Seeing all the stuff she has.
I actually didn't know that was that in there. Actually, I've always thought it was just... I understood that people build Deso on her, but that makes a lot more sense as to why now. I never knew
and her ult gives her a ton of regen, yeah.
Ooh. Fury's still up. Neither team was able to get it after that engagement, so the fight's gonna continue here around the Gold Fury. All 5 members on this left side of the map. Actually, Sobek does dash in. He's got a lot of them by him. Then here comes the Terra ultimate, Blink and Terra ult, but Nemesis ult onto the light. Force him to Lurking Waters, get more protections, and he's gonna be in all right, and a few ults used, but nothing really happened. Really going right in onto all 4 of them. Like, very crazy fight. And then the big ultimate from Soul, though, will finish off Cocky and get 1 member low. Boomhead with another kill. That's 2 for 0 so far. This fight is going the way of KWM. Ashen very low, has to kind of back up. No, does have the ultimate, though, so gotta watch out for that steal.
Yeah, it's just poor positioning right there. That one kill for him, and he got after the coaches, he got alive, and almost actually steals a Fury. But
almost gets away with it.
Yeah, just unfortunate positioning. They push it a bit too far.
Nice little freeze.
Honestly, I don't think this will get alive, but these mirror walls have actually been like amazing. I mean, like Sobek's been forced to go lurking in the wars and loses at least like 60% plus of his HP each time, but they just can't kill him. And because of that, I mean, we're seeing these fights turn on their head. Especially with Terra now being in the fight as well.
We've got some people in the chat saying that Billy is a Chad for just the way he's playing. Yeah, he's been playing hyper aggressive, and it's been working out great for this kid with Min Squad. I was very questioning why he just kind of ran in there and just took all that damage, but you know what? It worked out perfectly. So respect.
I mean, you push Osiris, and the next thing you know, he does your AC's entire HP.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's got that he's got the Fire's Mask, the Mystical Mail, the Void Shields. Like he's got a lot of good items to give him that little extra oomph.
Yeah, he's got that wrong goes too. I mean, you know, I've seen a lot of people go back and forth on these axes. This definitely has to be a Sundering axe when he gets level 20. It's just too good on him.
Yeah, I agree. It should absolutely be a Sundering axe.
I think people build heroes after trying to get around because, I mean, it's not the most proper build, but there's a build where if you build enough HP, you give your attack on 600 HP.
And I'm all on to Sobek forcing those lurking waters, like you said, but the portal! Oh, that was great, but unfortunately it won't matter, brother. You mentioned that Ymir wall forcing Sobek to go into lurking waters. Deputy Movement misses every chain, unfortunately, and will be forced to just run away. This is not the best fight here for Trash Pandas, but look at Artemis on that left side. He might be able to get this Phoenix if they keep him occupied for long enough. And only losing 1 member on this right side, this might be a great trade. Look at this. Yep, Artemis is tearing through that Phoenix, and that's going to go down. It's Artemis. And that's, yeah. But Fire Giant here being an objective. No, actually, they're going to chase this fight again. Oh, I mean, it is a 3v5, but they're just not able to kill any of these members right now. I mean, the Terra healing, the portals from Giannis, it's keeping them in mind. Not in mind, alive, my bad.
Zoning from the start is the leaf on him. He might get killed off this. But look on the right side, Giannis, he has to sneak. He's just too yeah, the chances of kill now is gone.
So how do you feel about that? You know, Kittens managed to secure the Fire Giant. Oh, Billy. Oh,
too much of Chad.
Yeah, the Chadness was just too much on that engagement there. Losing Billy, but okay. How do you feel about the Fire Giant for Phoenix trade here?
I mean, they got the Fire Giant. That's all that matters at this point because they can just push up that wave and fight off of that side. That's realistically all that matters at this point. If they lost it, then we're obviously saying something different. But good zoning by their frontliners to show that. Yeah, I mean, it's a worthwhile trade as long as you can push it properly and hopefully not lose a fight on the side as well. Because I mean, at this point too, it's also a win condition for Trash Pandas if they find a good team fight to just win the game off of this.
Hey Jordan, can we press 5 real quick, please? Well, we're getting a request to take a peek here at the player damage. There we go. Yeah, Billy, second, top of the charts. Artemis, though, I mean, getting cocky. Playing really well with all the, I mean, and of course it's Artemis, but
sprinkling around like a sprinkler that shoots electricity.
Well, right now this is a very interesting spot. Good call on them to push up the left lane. Of course, that's the one lane you want to push up after getting fire anyway, but make sure those fire minions are pushed as far away from the Titan as possible.
But I don't expect them to go in quite yet.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Where are they going? I started to think the middle, which I think is smart option, but it's have to look for a full grouping here.
I mean, gold-wise, Trash Pans still have the lead, so they can actually look to defend this tier 2, even with their Fire Giant. They just have to play it properly. And I think Kittens and Mittens know that they can't super easily siege it, so they're going to just settle for this Primal Fury, which is spawning shortly.
I wonder, do you think they'll do a sneaky little fight where they try and dropship a few people over the Giannis ult?
You know, nah, with Giannis at base, maybe not. Well, we'll see. I mean, Giannis looks like he's actually waiting for an item. Yeah, I've got the story. We'll head out. Still no flat pen though. Not gonna be great against these tanks, but against some squishies isn't gonna be the best. And they will. Kids with Mittens will secure the Primal Fury.
Speaking of squishy, the Primal Fury.
Yeah.
Very, very squishy compared to its cross-map counterpoint Fire Giant.
Especially with the Fire Giant buff itself, yeah, that thing's going down. But I mean, Primal Fury is great, but they haven't gotten a tower yet. This Fire Giant does not have that much honor on it, so hopefully they can get something else out of this. Nice wall to kind of stop up so much pluck from happening there, and they will get the tier 1. So they got something.
Did they just find the soul and left? They actually might be able to take their picker. Also 2 in the fight, but looks like instead they'll just get tier 1, accept it falling down, and just back off for now. Let's get out for the Fire Giant.
Yeah,
let's get back to what I said earlier. Because Soul has so much healing in his first 3 ions that you actually had to go for Divine Ruin instead of Critical Magus, which is a bit of a blow to the power that Terra can bring.
You know what's interesting is that she did build the Magus originally, but then she actually sold it and got the Divine instead. So
here it comes. You guys only build Magus. No, build Divine, build Divine.
Yeah. I mean, makes sense. Giannis, definitely one of the worst mages to proc that Divine Rune on. Terra got some big ol' AoE damage. Unfortunate, like you said, can't get the Magus, but it's fine. Yeah. Definitely still works here, and will hopefully make the Soul more vulnerable.
Yeah, back to Sarians though. So Giannis didn't build one at the beginning. I'm not surprised by the one he picked up. He picked up the Mannequin's Hidden Blade, which recently got its shift, quote unquote, to properly state that it does do max HP damage instead of current HP damage. Which, I mean, on Giannis, he gets close to 1-hits, but Mannequin's Hidden Blade can definitely give him those 1-hits. I mean, his ult can't 1-hit more anymore actually because they can change how that works to only do 75%, I believe, max HP damage.
Yeah, 70-75, something one of those two. Ooh.
But with the addition of Solar too, I mean, I think his ult could technically 1-hit unless that interaction does not work that way with all those items in his ultimate. I mean, we'll see. Hopefully we get a beautiful snipe coming into sideline one of these ADCs for these backliners.
Yeah, well, to see. Fire Giant did just spawn. Sobek not there, but I don't know if they're aware of that or not. Kind of just gonna do a little bit of a dancing for a little bit here.
Running down mid, I mean, normally you see this on junglers like Ratatasker where you have the extra global ultimate, but he's just pushing it down mid and they notice this, they won't fight.
They don't want to fight. Indeed, Nick's taking half his HP bar, forcing him to actually back here. If Kittens catches this, they might be able to get some, go for some fight here. But I don't know if they noticed Terra went back. And, maybe they did because they were going to start off the Fire Giant. Donji is in the mid lane. Yeah, Nep. Unfortunately, Nemo not going to get the full benefit, but look at, oh my goodness, all this damage on the critter behind there goes 3 members just like that. That was absolutely huge ultimate here from Ashen. I mean, you were talking about it, that more one-shot potential. I think that just completely turned this fight. Beads are going to be a little late, but even with the beads, I don't know if Soul's getting out of there, so that's a deicide here for Trash Pandas.
It was a beautiful pick by Deputy on the back, but I think that's all on the Terra. And everyone else dropped their damage off, other than everyone gets forested. I mean, 3 people were brought down to 4 HP almost immediately in that fight. And I mean, there's maybe one universe where you somehow win that fight from that point, but that universe is far, far away, I think. And this should be, this might not be good. Looks like they're backing off. To say maybe they could have looked for in the end actually the fight end just a few seconds earlier because you had midway pushing in, but
yeah, I mean, I don't blame them for going the safe route. It would have been a risky end, but I think they had the potential, especially with an Artemis on your side. So, but you know what? They got fire. They got a mid Phoenix. They have the absolute advantage in this game at the moment. We'll see.
Your left side sweep, I think, just go for or just primal and then primal just in case, somehow just in case if they don't get the win here off this. What could be the final push. And Terra's actually gone to the Bloodshot Shroud, which makes sense, but I mean, I almost wonder how much damage she could do if she went that Sacrificial Shroud. I want to see. As a solo laner, I do love Terra because it's just fun linking onto the backline, ulting, and next thing you know, they're switching to
yeah.
That is the good thing about Hobo too being bad now, is that Hobo just procs that. 3 damage all around.
Yeah, it's definitely surprising how much damage some of these guards can do, and I think that always catches some people off guard because, like, when you actually get some of that damage in there, especially in that pen with that Divine Rune, yeah, they can hurt you. So, but looks like they are going to group up here for this left Phoenix push. Mid is down. We do have Deputy moving here in the right lane, so 4-1 push, and they got to worry about mid Phoenix, so our mid lane, sorry.
Yeah, it's a little 1v1 matchup. Osiris is hugging that wall, that door on the wall. That's only 1v1, I mean. That fight depends on whoever gets to the anti and. Oh, shield, can we get it?
Oh, but the beads, unfortunate. Hydrox will still live. But that does force Hydrox back and moving. It's a little bit low, and we'll actually just go for the speed bump instead. But here comes engagement here on the left lane. Terra ultimate on the 3 people, but Billy starts 2 of them on the backline. Beads a little late on the block, so unfortunately, they're gonna get plucked away anyway. But a massive solo will do so much damage. But does it matter? Boomhead will fall. Ashen is on the run, but the portal will actually get Ashen. Oh, thank goodness that Phoenix isn't there. Nemesis is still chasing, but has to back away as the left Phoenix now just did fall cocky with a double kill here on the Blubber and Becky. And now this fight is completely going away from Transmitted again, but no, Pistendi will actually shut down the Artemis. Light picking up Hydrox. 3-for-1 trade. Did get rid of the Artemis, but with 2 birds down, I don't know.
They are a bit low. They do need to sustain up a bit more than I think they'd like to. The pipeline is a lot quicker to sustain than Terra's actually attacking.
Down.
Yeah, with that aggressive dash, I mean, I'm just looking for Phoenix here.
Yeah, they're gonna fight safe and go for the. I don't know. I feel like they could have ended. They got minions pouring in there, and they're very healthy again. I feel like the end of call would have been 10 times better here. I can maybe understand the first call to go for Fire Giant instead of ending, but here I feel like I mean, look how low it is just from minions alone.
Yeah.
So I feel like the end could have happened. But you know what? They got 3 birds now, so.
Billy don't really help turn that fire around for them though. I mean, he got plugged in and he sort of just said, "Hey, look at me. Stop looking at this Phoenix. Stop looking at my teammates. Just follow me instead. I'm the fight with no ultimate. Come chase me." I mean, sure, the Phoenix did eventually fall, but they did cost a life with their ADC in the end, which I guess was enough to make them not push.
I don't know. I still disagree with that. You still got Dodgy can still hurt the thing. Ashing can still hurt it. I mean, you got Terra healing and Light P. I don't know. I feel like the end could have easily happened there, but you know, yeah. But 3 birds down definitely still puts them in a very powerful position, especially now that they'll have EFG this time. And Kittens have been. I mean, to be honest, I think they have to go for the steal, but.
I mean, hey, maybe we see an energy play. We see a huge flank round. Although.
I love that play so much. I don't know what you talked about.
I mean, See, I sort of like these cheesy ends where it's like someone backdoors, but realistically, I think what they have to do is actually go for FG and force a fight because that way even left is dangerously close.
Yeah, they gotta make this. They gotta do something with this fight. Kittens has to get a deicide in order to stop this bleeding and prevent them from winning. But the Giannis comes in, does connect. I believe I did it not. I couldn't. I didn't know if Soul took damage or not before that. But I guess actually Soul would have taken more than just that from Assault. So unfortunately though, Idrox down, and now the Titan's just getting filled with minions. Hachi Man can't clear them all. Ashen shuts down the Stende here, and then this is game right here. Unfortunately, there's no way Hachi can defend from the team, and all the minions pouring in. He can barely do the minions himself. Hopefully they just go for the end.
Yeah, now they're looking for end.
Yeah, okay. I was like, please don't do the EFG right now.
They're not gonna pull I think it was Aquila. I want to say way back in like season 1 where they had 3 teams down. They just completely came from that point because they played way too passive. But I mean, yeah, there's no point to play passive. Your time's basically already dead. Unless you see a punch come out on that.
I was gonna say, oh no, but he just eats the ultimate and then Diana's too, and down he goes. Trash Pandas taking game 1, which
yeah, I mean,
was very close to like 20-25 minute mark.
It comes down to those frontliners and those teamfight ultimates. I mean, Terry saw made a huge impact in the late game. Sobek, you know, he had that play at the beginning of the game where somehow he lives through an Osiris ult, probably 2 Mother ults. Actually, no, he lived through a Hachiman ult too, which I thought would have killed him there, but no, it didn't. I mean, it was just, I mean, this is just, so far it's been the Kinsman season where everything is so close, but it just doesn't come together at the right time.
Yeah, I also noticed Boomhead's relic usage was very minimal that game. I know someone pointed out in chat too. I started realizing that at the end there. Yeah, very minimal relic usage. So Boom could have possibly turned some of those fights or live longer or something. So hopefully we'll see. Hopefully we will see.
Maybe he's been watching some Zap, man.
Yeah. But you know, besides that last 10 minutes, Mittens was doing really well. Just once Trash Pandas got Fire Giant. Oh yeah, yeah, the gold tier fight too.
Because I mean, they brought 2 people over, but typically that's not quite enough to fully force a gold. Normally you see a gold fight happen when 3 people are put into solo lane. When they say, "Hey, the numbers advantage over there is way more than on the gold for your side of the map. We can definitely take this." They only sent their jungler, and there's obviously their solo laner there, and I think they just got a bit too antsy about how much time they had, and fortunately cost them. But,
do you think?
Continue.
What?
What are you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say. Now, do you think? Do you think a lot of this came down to maybe just the drafts, maybe, or do you think it was more just kind of some weird team plays that kind of shifted the game?
I don't know. I want to say it's a bit on team play. I mean, again, maybe it's actually. You have to say maybe it's just skill from the other side. I mean, Trash Pandas, that Sobek they couldn't kill him, even though he locked him down arguably almost perfectly. They just couldn't finish on kills, and that was their issue. So I think, you just gotta, laser beam focus is just a bit harder. The laser's at like 98% in that game. Maybe just barely, twist the lens and get to 100%. I mean, they definitely could have won that.
Yeah, Billy kind of came out of solo lane. He wasn't like huge, but he was definitely ahead and had a decent lead. And Billy was playing like a madman in some of those fights, but unfortunately got to the point where he just couldn't do that anymore, as the backline was just hitting harder and harder, and there's only so much defense you could build. So, but it's also much of that. I just feel like the team fight out of Trash Pandas just played way better. Not only just draft wise, but just team wise. I feel like they were a bit more coordinated and had a
And
bit more plan.
they definitely, I mean, they hold down any jungle corridor if they have a Terra. That's what Trash
Mhm.
Pandas had, you know, and that's, as we saw in those few fights, it's just when you're trapped in those corridors and those jungle fights, and that ultimate pops on you, you might as well just type in GG at that point. I mean, like it's like we've said, we saw it earlier in the match. It's just maybe get away that Terra.
Mhm.
Maybe, I mean, yeah, take away
Yeah.
one other team fight gods for sure. I think going into this next game.
Now, do you want them to pick it, or do you want them to actually just ban it outright?
Well, I mean, if they get first pick, they can probably look for one, but I don't know. There's a few interesting bands. Like there's definitely a few interesting ones that they could have probably looked for another god to be banned out instead of one of the ones they did. You know, maybe they ban the Terra this time around if it drops through far enough. I mean, it's basically mind games at this point. It's like, you know, what will they pick here? Basically, you just gotta read your enemy here and think, what
Mhm.
are they gonna pick? What are they gonna ban? When they do this, what are they looking for? I gotta figure out how to fight against that.
I do want to see Ducky back on the Ymir. I feel like those walls force so many
Mhm.
like a lot of ults and just they were pretty solid. I think he did get picked a lot. And of course, that's just part of playing
Ymir.
Ymir, right? Yeah, but
But
I feel like it did a really good job. I feel like just maybe I don't think the Hachi did very well. I think the Hachi pick just it didn't
yeah.
really change anything. I feel like maybe give him something a bit more aggressive, possibly. I feel like that's just with how I've seen Boom play. I feel like he does better on aggressive picks, but
I mean, Hachi, I mean, I don't know. He's a fun god. He's a good god to play, but it just seems like when it comes to competitive play, he never really like he just gets so unlucky. Never seems to really win as much as you think he should. But I think the one thing too is that yeah, he had good walls, but they're all reactive walls, and a huge saying is that you know you don't play reactive smite, you play active smite. You know, you always want to be on that sort of fun the gas like first step play. And sure, those Ymir are blocking off the Sobek, but typically Ymir wants to say, hey, they're your carries. They can't walk through this corridor anymore. Everyone on my team, dive them instead. And that's we didn't see that. We saw it was just all defensive walls for the most part. But I mean,
that's
I'd like
actually
to
a
see
good
him on
point.
again.
That's a good point. Maybe switch from the reactive walls to the more active walls. Make it a bit more plays. Yeah, especially since Sobek. I guess a good point was Sobek was never dying, right? That man lived through everything. So
It's just
maybe
amazing. I mean, you have the early game, damage, but just wasn't enough somehow. I mean, a lot of those plays are just a difference between one or two autos and maybe like half an ability damage, even at that.
I mean, we talked about the Terra, right? Very, very poor lane phase, but once she rotates into those team fights and if she doesn't fall behind in the lane, that impact she makes is
Yeah.
incredible.
I mean,
So
doesn't matter if you win solo lane by taking their tower. The Terror's just gonna late game, press blink, press ult, and then usually just dash to her monolith, and next thing you know, everyone's dead. And
yeah.
Osiris, I mean, he has a bit more of a. I mean, I guess it's simpler because you just W kill the person, but like, he's a bit more direct focus, and I think they just couldn't get to that backline as easily as they wished.
Yeah, I mean, it's not new news that Osiris's late game isn't the best. I mean, he does one thing and one thing only. Really, is just I'm gonna run at somebody and try my best to kill him or make sure he doesn't get into the fight.
He's an
So
isolator, you know.
yeah, but he did do that for a few of the fights. It's just on that one fight at Gold Fury, three people zoned out, but unfortunately, it didn't matter. They still lost the fight in the end. But then as the game went on, it just got harder and harder to do exactly that. And
Yeah.
Cyrus does not play well from behind. So
I want to look back at that later because I want to see who Daji plucked because it might have been either the Nemesis or the Osiris that she had plucked that again just helped their backline fight against it so much easier. I
Mhm.
mean, the whole point of or the whole factor of a team fight is when the solo laner dives, the jungler comes in, to not say just finish off kills, but there's a balance and synergy of the solo laner takes those abilities, and then the jungler comes in when the abilities are down and fights there. But when you take either one of those parts out, they're just gonna die. I mean, the solo laner takes a lot longer to die, but I mean, you have both those parts on a dive. Yep.
Well, is there a certain pick you would like to see maybe changed here for the Kittens Women's squad, or do you think?
Now we get to see them again. I mean, hmm.
Well, speaking
Hachi. I
of,
mean, I never.
oh, never mind.
Again, like I say, Hachi doesn't seem to have good luck. You look at that Nemesis thing. I mean, Nemesis can do Nemesis thing. She can do a sneaky little kill or two that she can find. But it looks like we're already to pick some bans. Artemis and Odin banned away, and I definitely like that Artemis being banned away. Take away at least one of their team fighters.
Unfortunately, it looks like we are not going to have our beautiful picks and ban trains, but you know what? That's okay. Well, we had it for game one. We'll have it for game two, or maybe they're fixing it. Who knows? As long as we get to see what is being picked and banned, right? So, yeah, you mentioned Artemis gone and the Soul, but they picked the Sobek first this time. Thoughts?
I mean, if he can pull the same stuff that was pulled last game, it's a good pick. Just gotta get those plucks. That's half a Sobek. Just press one button, pluck a guy back, and then kill him. As long as he can do that, game should go fairly well. But Chiron, we saw it banned out last game, I believe in the second phase. But I guess they like this pick. Chiron and Athena. It's a powerful burst early on in the game between Athena and Chiron.
Oh yeah, and I expect to see a very classic combo here with probably the Scylla pickup here for Ashen. Just very easy damage and very easy setup into very high damage. Poseidon's also another big one, but Poseidon's kind of bad right now, so I don't expect it to
Mm,
be the Poseidon. But
I think one thing too, speaking about Athena, is that you have that game plan, which is like talking to this. But it seems like late game, the whole idea falls apart at times. And it just doesn't come to fruition as much. So like I said, maybe we'll see the Scylla. We see the Cyrus be picked again. No surprise. I mean, just give the man his W key god.
I mean, yeah, I think he played it really well. I think it was just the god itself that just unfortunately didn't work well when they got to the point where he was trying to zone off everybody. But ooh, Merlin. All right, we've been seeing a lot of Merlin recently.
Yeah, I mean, he's looking several upon dozens of nerfs. Look what's the time, but I mean, he's still a good tank shredder. He's still a good objective shredder. I mean, if you watch this BL, I believe 2 days ago we saw BMT play and he was styling on the god. I mean, he can make plays. That's one thing I love to see out of Merlin. Is just, whenever he can flicker in and drop his kid, that's just cool play to see. As Mercury actually gets picked up next. Hmm. Saw him last
Interesting.
game, but I mean,
Yeah,
that does still work with the Athena combo. I mean, actually, no, that's gonna be the combo. It's gonna be Athena ult and Mercury ult onto a side
ooh,
lane.
yeah, that's actually be really, really good. Well, assuming they, properly execute it. But yeah, and Athena doesn't do that great late game, but Mercury sure does. So picking up for that, I get a bit of late game slack that the draft was currently lacking.
Yep.
As Giannis being taken away, it makes sense. I think Ashen was very frustrating for them on this pick, and then Loki Kali on the other side.
Interesting. I mean, you have a Chiron. Loki, his ult just doesn't do its CC when you have a Chiron. You just drop the one at your feet. And I mean, he also has a dash too. So Loki, I mean, realistically, they could have let him through, but they still feel like it's a too good of a pick in the hands of the Kittens. A
That
very
could,
big Kukulkan ban. I mean, that's whenever I'm in picks and bans, we just look like it's like, what do they have to still pick? Like they still have a Solar pick, and let's just throw Kukulkan to the side. That's, actually, I'm honestly surprised he's made it this far down, but like I said, I think we've
I'm
seen that combo from Trash Pandas come out, and I mean, why not give Billy his Osiris again in solo?
I'm personally surprised it was not the Terra ban because Terra's still up, and I feel like Terra made a huge difference in those fights. Could call him annoying to play against, sure, but I feel like with just what happened, I feel like the Terror ban would have been a better target, unless they don't think they're gonna pick it here, and then maybe they're gonna pick it for themselves, run it and support, and then put Cyrus jungle, Sobek solo, or whatever they do. But they're actually gonna take the Ymir themselves.
Athena solo.
So
Right?
yeah, or Ymir. Okay, I personally love Ymir solo. I know it's not that great
Ymir.
in comp, but it's a ton of fun, especially with the fighters mass start. You clear wave so fast, and you kind of just
This
bully the other person.
club,
But
club does 100 damage early game, or 76
yeah,
damage, level 3.
yeah. But realistically, I think Athena just plays the solo lane better in a sense because she's a little bit harder to kill.
Yeah,
Because
and
she has actual provided like good consistent CC, but
she
I
can
don't
afford
know.
to rotate. Also, I
Yeah,
mean, dual lane's a mini duel in a sense. And I mean, Athena is like one of the key guardians you pick in duel. As weird as that might sound. As Nemesis again being picked. They like this pick in the jungle.
I'm not sure if Hydrox is a big Nemesis player, but I personally just I'm not a fan of this. I feel like the
Well,
Nemesis didn't do that well last game. But
but it's still a good against these frontliners. I mean, Athena,
mhm.
she dashes in. If you Nemesis hold her, she should die. Ymir, I mean, do the same thing, just ultimate at a bad spot, and he should die as well. The E set, though, being hovered. But will she be locked in? And she will. I like Issa a lot. I have a lot of fun with her.
She definitely has. Yeah, I think she's very solid. I think it's hard for me to like value her because I don't know. Like, I think I think she does like what she does well, which is just massive subjective secure. But I feel like she's fallen off in other aspects of things. But
Yeah,
I,
I mean,
I think she's still solid. If that makes sense.
I can understand that.
I'm curious to see how she performs here, especially like they're gonna have a very strong team fight though with what they
Yeah,
got.
definitely.
So
I mean, she's a supportive mage in a sense. I mean, she like, isn't quite a guardian at levels of CC, but I mean, the way she plays, she can definitely work on a one of those types of play styles. And you got that silence, you got the stun, you got the ultimate for what's both damage and the heal on top of that.
so interesting enough, looks like it will. Like, just from what we saw before the screen transition, it looks like it is going to be Ymir solo. I guess I mentioned before, I love that. It's so much fun. I actually think it has some kind of utility, at least here in the Thor division. Maybe not when you go into Odin. Maybe it just I feel like people punish it better. But I'm kind of excited to see if that's actually what it is. I do think that Athena would work better than Ymir, but I personally am actually really excited for this Ymir solo.
You gotta play around a little bit more. I mean, when you do picks like those, you gotta sort of emphasize getting him a bit more of a lead than that situation. 'Cause, I mean, it's amazing how like different tanks can work when you put them in one role or the other. Like where one is like, oh, I now build this and go for this type of lead. But when I'm in this role, I just stay on my back, do this and this, and then easy and done. I think what the best time Ymir has in solo is when there's assassins or like a squishier god in solo lane. Because sure, you know, Osiris doesn't have any protection squad on mine yet, but he has a lot of health. And if you look at someone like let's say like a Neja solo maybe, or like a Thor solo, that club take like 15% plus of their HP bar in one hit. But, I mean, I like the pick, but probably would like to see Athena there.
I'm not a fan of the start. I personally think with Ymir, the Fire's Master just works 10 times better because it just lets you have so much early pressure and you clear super fast. And then you can back for like a Titan, Warrior's Axe, my apologies. And then, or something else if there's another starter item you're looking at. But going to act in the tier 1 breastplate, I'm assuming that's what he's going to go into. Not sure how I feel about it.
Probably blame him for wanting to be a bit more tanky than Osiris.
Yeah.
Get back to the sticker, but he wanted to use chasing the line, so before we get back to tower line. Although I will have to say though, I think with mana pot, my question, and mana pot and 5 HP pots. And
I mean, Ymir.
you see two different swords. Normally you see the multis that you see on the Osiris, or you see a health chalice and get back to that old long time to think. The Thunder comes out early, but no follow up. Interesting.
Yeah, then I'm not sure what the play was there.
Yeah, two of them
Are-
are there.
Yeah. Do we think we'll see a very early gank once more here from the Trash Pandas?
It all depends on how this next wave or two, how the fight goes, if they even choose to fight. So in that first game, it was mostly because they were put down to like 200 HP each, and Dodgy could just jump 1 to defend it off. I want to see this like mid game though for this team because again, Mercury, Athena, I don't think someone should die off that combo. Although,
Yeah.
on the flip side, I had to say, High is probably one of the safer ones. I mean, 2 beads and have the ball down close enough to you, you can just fall right away. And sure cost you the beads, but you're alive.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Kine is, I mean, even after they nerfed the Crystal, I still think he is one of the safest hunters. Jinwei, I still think is probably safest, but that Crystal and that can really change how things go. Nice little freeze, I guess. Ymir kind of getting bullied out by the Osiris, which is, I guess, to be expected, right? It's Osiris. Nice pluck, but right on to Athena. I couldn't remember the god name, but the Sunder as well. That's a nasty combo, but unfortunately, Athena will get out.
Yeah, way too late on the Thunder. I think I got off the second blocker. I mean, that's just what Siddharth does. I mean,
oh, he flicks again! Oh no! That's it. Yep, that's first blood. Unfortunately, light. Very poor positioning there.
yeah, I mean, my time in comp, I spent the end of it playing support. I mean, the second Sobe came back, so I got picked for. I mean, this is basically all of this team. It's just Sobe gets picked, they pluck someone, and it's a kill lane. Not quite as much as it was a season ago, where it was literally just you picked Hachi and Sobek, and then you just farmed your brains out. But I mean, it's still a viable strat.
Yeah. It's just weird because I feel like everyone knows what Sobek does, right? Sobek's just gonna pluck you. But I feel like people don't really utilize play around that properly. They position too far up, or they just don't hide behind the minions. Because obviously you can't plug to the minions. But once again, we got another pluck going in here on Sunder, on time this time, but they're actually gonna back up as being in that corridor. I guess was a little scary for them.
Boom have been in the double there. I think he was trying to place that down, get that half A cancel off. That's one time tech that's pretty neat, is canceling that overhand auto, which takes a lot longer to do by just dropping a crystal down. Usually you get 1, 2, 1, 2 instead of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. That's all I took a reverse. But fortunately for him, he just teleported with it instead.
Oh, what can actually maybe I don't know if he was actually trying to back, but Blubber put himself in a bad situation, but Cocky ain't gonna get the kill as Boomhead was still here. But Athena and Mercury though on the back line. There's no way you're getting out of this, buddy. Sobek gonna fall, and now Boom gonna throw some autos out, but they're actually not gonna engage on him. They're just gonna run on back.
They didn't use their combo. They both just got their ult online. Still does have beats, still does have ultimate. And Crystal even. His crystals are kind of poorly placed for this spot.
Yeah, man. Looks like he doesn't have any plans of maybe change your position, or he just doesn't really care. But 1-1 right now. Because of Mittens. Actually, yeah, because of Mittens 500 gold lead.
I mean, again, Bubba Ducky definitely could avoid that death. I think he got a bit too greedy, sort of a bit too showboaty, and ended up getting brought down to at least like 15% against the Kyle.
He said push up pretty far, does get the pluck, and the beads are a little late. That's been happening all set with both these teams, yeah. Honestly. When the Sobek was on Trash Pandas, Kittens wins, late beads, yeah, and now we're seeing it here.
Maybe this is online if you yeah, unfortunately this is online, but to an extent, yeah, you just gotta get used to that and just You don't have the pre-beads, but you sort of kind of gotta get into their mindset where it's like, yeah, I know they're plucking people. And Meryl gets actually forced out, which is, I don't think he made the beads necessarily.
Yeah, I don't think he died if he got stunned and Billy decided to ult him. So
Yeah.
interesting play.
We might see gank, but there's one advantage of being a soul laner and then going to like a damage roll is that you're in the mind of a Sobek. You know that he's gonna fuck right then. And would you look at that? I also said that right when I said it, and he missed it, but.
I mean, that's the thing I was talking about earlier. I mean, everyone knows what Sobek's gonna do. He's gonna block. He set ult. Actually, sounded like it was dropped. Can't actually see it here. It was alright. He set ult, dropped. Very just for the Scorpion, which is very interesting. But no kill's gonna come out of it.
She was definitely looking for a surprise play, and I think she was trying to get that nemesis, but unfortunately, the Sobek was the only thing that spot.
Ooh.
That place might actually be good one.
Oh, beautiful snipe. Trying to back, but will not get away. Cocky getting a second kill here for the Trash Pandas, but now here comes the rotation. Hydrox will make sure Cocky doesn't get out of his Stende. Will finish off Ashen Eclipse, and then Light gonna dash out of there. 2-for-1 trade, and that definitely goes in favor of Kittens with Mittens.
And that was that beautiful Merlin play I was mentioning. Just flicker in, stand switch, ton of damage. And that was a good read by Cocky. Understand that he's probably actually not gonna look to move before he got there, and he just like right where he was.
Maybe Ducky getting a little too aggressive as Mercury's now just punching away at Sobek and will get the kill, but will there be a return? Merlin actually ignoring the Athena, trying to get the kill on Mufin, but Deputy Mufin will survive and see another day. Unfortunate there.
Somebody's gotta cool the jets a little bit here. Bro, I think he definitely went for the right target there in the Mercury. I think the Athena definitely could have gone out of there, but just
I agree.
Not enough yet. I mean, actually, if this was pre-nerf, this was last patch, I definitely would have killed because I believe Sharon's going to have 10 more power back then.
I just found. Oh, yeah, he said in a bad situation here, and Hydrox will get the kill. This Nemesis is looking a lot stronger here in game number 2. Definitely, I feel like Hydrox is making a lot more plays. Looks like there was a mistake here with setting up the team names and score. Apologies, everybody. So red team is Trash Pandas, and Trash Pandas is ahead 1-0 right now.
Yeah, sadly their team name was lost in the trash.
Yeah. I mean, so there's a glitch right now. We're just on. I don't know. It's probably been there forever, but that's just unfortunately sometimes it just doesn't say the team name. I've had it happen before. Maybe that's what happened. Or you forgot. Ooh, Gold Fury though.
Good area, but we'll do that for the move, but looks like a cost.
Ooh. Oh, it's a pluck, but kind of around closer, but actually it might be enough to save the life of the jungler. Hydrox making it out, still being chased here, but now Rubber Ducky's in a bad situation, but it's not the worst thing if he dies. I mean, he's a support. Down goes Ducky, but they've got the Gold Fury. And actually a return kill as don't get Billy winning in the 2v1 right here. Oh,
you don't do that to a solo laner. If you 2v1 that and you lose a person, if you lose both of them here, I mean, that's just, you don't let the solo laner have this place because they will pop off and just never look back from that.
Oh yeah, it's a massive ego boost for a solo laner. Yeah. But Billy playing a bit aggressive will be taunted back in. It's sundered. Dina going for the kill due to the sunder. It will be enough to get the damage off. But Hydrox finishing Ashen, who's on the rotation. Ashen, that's what he said. Not getting, not popping off like the Giannis was.
I mean, those trolls gets picked in the jungle. What's happened these last 2 days? You just gotta do better now. You're not this Giannis anymore, per se.
Yeah, I feel like the Giannis mindset's still fresh with Ashen, causing him to kind of just play willy-nilly. Unfortunately, can't do that feat set with no escape, so. Best thing, yeah. Yeah, well, this time no Doom Orb, got the Karen's, so Kronos into Karen's coin.
I'm interested to see where he'll go, actually, because I don't honestly know. I mean, I like when I play this guy, I like to mess around and go to tank shred build where I just build like Soul Reaver, Warrior's Axe, and all those other items. But I don't know. I mean, maybe he likes the management a lot. I don't know what that song.
And that pluck off the mark, unfortunately, but Bubber's gonna just brush that off. Ain't a big deal here. Which mannequins are you talking about? Talking about the Nemesis, or are you talking about the Mercury?
Oh, like he said. I was gonna say no. Well, what you might pick up as a starter.
Okay. My apologies.
Mercury has the ult.
Sunder here onto the Athena. Unfortunately, though, isn't really gonna do much there for him. But there's two fights breaking out. The set. Well, actually, heal for a lot. Here comes Boomhead with the ult in, and then will get a kill onto Ashen. W move to fall into the hands of Bastende. That's a 2-for-0 trade right now. Athena in a bad situation, but actually gets through 4 people to dash. But here comes Billy ulting in like the Chad he is. But unfortunately, we'll get taunted back in. And beads are down, so he will live. Oh, I thought he was gonna fall there. That's a 3-for-0 trade here for Kittens, but Mittens, that was beautifully played.
Curiosity didn't really deliver, but the king of beast. And that looks like the play he did earlier in last game, where he ults into 3 people like seemingly for no reason, and then it ends up just working out.
I don't know how he gets out of that, because I feel like if I did that, I would just die in 2 seconds. But, I guess that's just the power of spectating, watching players do things.
I mean, got the health from Mythical as well. He's a bit light on the protections, but I mean, realistically, with the mixture of Warrior's Axe and that Mythical, he has, I believe, around 60. So, I mean, I guess it's the same amount of protections, and obviously towers do physical damage, so be a bit more aggressive.
So how do you feel about this Golden Blade pickup from Nemesis? We did not see this last game. I feel like we don't see Golden Blade at all really anymore.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm definitely falling for a wayside. I think for good reason. For the most part, people don't need to farm it part of what they used to. So the fight will separate.
And unfortunately, looks like the Spirit Ball completely missed.
One guy that does pick up is them, though. Looking for Taunt, I think, but good pick on that Sovic there.
Mercury is around the corner here. Fury is coming up soon. Looks like it will be the only Fury. We've seen a lot of Gold Fury fights here in the last game. Do we expect it to be the same here for game 2?
I mean, look at the
Oh, no. Nice pluck in, ult on to, the Athena. But Athena might actually get out alive. It's happening again. The Light just won't die, but Mercury ults in himself to 4 people. Almost kills Hydrox. Is able to dash out of there without any kind of poke onto him. Now we got support and jungle low here for Trash Pandas and Kittens and Mittens, respectively. As the Fury is now up.
Beautiful, I mean. That was like the cleanest, like, that ult stopped right where he wanted it to be. It was right on top of that person. But there's not enough damage in those crits online.
Trash Pandas is gonna go for this Fury. He said ult is up, but they're actually gonna drop it as they're being forced out here by Token Billy, who will use Lord of the Afterlife. Did not enough to kill Moof and Boom, have killing Light on the back end here. And now Trash Pandas, a bit of a tricky situation. They gotta retreat, and now Kittens and Mittens looking to pull the trigger themselves.
Little Spirit Ball not by time. But you know the difference was between this fight in the first game and this fight in this game at Gold Fury? They killed the left.
It's true.
Got them, and that's all they need to do.
Ooh, this is a hard chase. I mean, they did it.
They got his Aegis out, ultimate. It's like 5-6 seconds. He got Aegis now, so his dog was done.
So what I've noticed we have not really seen like any Athena ults. I feel like I don't think I've.
Yeah.
I guess it's actually been used because it's on cooldown. Maybe I'm trying to use it to escape. I just feel like I haven't actually seen it in action. Maybe it's happened off the camera, but in these fights, I feel like we haven't seen any of it.
We haven't seen that combo that, you know, you think would happen, which is not golden to, you know, on a side lane, but I mean, I guess they just got a bit too far behind early, and they can't really look for that combo as much as they wish they could have. I mean, the moment you want to do that is when Mercy gets that power spike on with that stone cutting. But until it gets clear online, maybe a second clear online as well, you don't really see Merc have too much of a heavy power spike until then.
Yeah, we haven't seen much from this Ymir either. I don't think he's actually really been in any of these fights. I'm trying to farm up. Got a very interesting build here. Breastplate, which makes sense. Get a fast cooldowns. And the Talisman, which is a great item. I love Talisman. And then Windblade, which I guess makes sense. Got a lot of slows on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, essentially he's just a support in the solo lane. You know, it's kind of like a Terra where you build this extra hybrid-y build. This is kind of like the Cerberus I kind of see usually come out of a variety in the SPL when he ever plays Cerberus. He always goes this first 3 items. Goes a bit tankier early on, and then he might look for a power item late. I'll have to see.
Clock connected, but Eset beads will be pop, but that's huge, as Eset does not have beads. Eset actually doesn't have a second relic yet. Throw 14 has probably, I guess, haven't back in a while. I can only assume, but Pyromancer is going to go the way of kids with Mittens. They're just clearing out the objectives on this map. Game 2 looking very different. Ooh. Ymir getting blocked away. Spirit Ball will actually connect onto Boom on the back, but I don't think it changes much.
That's Wingblade diff, because you remember with that Wingblade there, he gets slowed when he puts that wall up. He just gets caught up by his own wall.
You're able to connect to your butt, or go back. But now Trash Panda's taking a lot of damage here. I feel like it's a little early for a fire giant, but are they gonna go for it? Yeah, I don't like this. I mean, he sets, you got Mercury all, and he set all, the Chiron all, and that's just a bait. But when you pop the Sobek all, I think it's a bit more. But does pluck Ymir back in. The Windblade passive, unfortunately not online, and Ymir will fall. And now that is 1 to kill. They would happily take, and Light pretty low.
Here's Mercury also, watch out.
Oh yeah, Mercury does connect here onto Sobek, but the target you exactly want to hit. Athena going right in on to this Nemesis, but no follow-up.
Yeah, I can't wait for them to find out the legacy, but again, I mean, that maybe too hard to wait to go for this. Yeah. Worst case scenario, they get maybe 2 takes here.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this Argine call, but there is another block and Nemesis all onto Light, who is just gonna get yeeted around. But look how low they are. And Light ends up still living. He said, oh, was pulled. But now look at that beautiful 2-man taunt into Boomhead falls, but so does Light. But you know what? Ooh, but Bistan actually gets a double, but so does Ashen and Fears. 2 for 2 trade here. Beads were popped here by Pastende. That's not great, but I mean, he's 604. He's been playing extremely well this game.
Yeah, but I mean, 2 for 2. That didn't need to happen. That's really just as we said there. Actually, definitely came in clutch actually with that Isis ult, or that Eset ult. Pardon me. Still using the calling that guy out her old name, but he actually was able to sustain the Light up enough to actually go into that Isis ult and take it and I think that's up for the both here. I'll be up for it, but as long as they stop this Osiris.
Oh, they drop it! That's unfortunate. They drop it, Token Billy is just gonna get killed on Ash, and that was not the play. Athena all comes in, that was the first time I've seen it. I'm sure it's been used, but the first time I've seen it here on camera. Yeah, that was very, very unfortunate. And now They're gonna go for the Gold Fury. This happened earlier.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't see one of those sneaky little steals.
Oh, but here comes Token Billy. Ulting in on top of two of them. Both of them got no healing at all. It looks like they're failing to get a kill. Chiron comes out doing a lot of damage here on to Blubber Tucky, but he's still live just fine. Freezes Blight into the taunt back in. Definitely moving, picks up Blubber Ducky, but Trash Pandas are so low, they gotta get out of here. Ults in, but misses 3 people, but I'm assuming he was ulting to get away, so, you know, not a big deal, but they actually get the pick. Unfortunately, lose the Fury, but they at least get a pick in return.
I mean, they could be found another pick or two if Isa was up a second or two earlier. But the good old lucky crit, though, that was, I believe, a 296 crit onto that support.
Yeah, no Spectrals from either tanks right now, but Athena taunting 2 people into a beautiful Spirit Ball. Merling and Gudenev are going to take a lot of damage here and got to back up. No tier 1 tower from today.
It did force speeds. That's the most important part of that combo. Force the speeds off this Heimdallr, so his only safety option left is his ultimate, which isn't quite as safe as Heim wishes it was. I mean, it's the same issue with Nedge in a sense where it just locks you in place. And when it locks you in place for that long, it also sets you up for the enemy as well.
Kindle the Mittens here. 3k gold lead. 22 minutes in though, that's not actually a big lead. So Trash Panda's definitely still in this. It's just these fights have not been going Trash Panda's way. Is there anything you feel like they should change about how this, you know, for Trash Panda's strategy coming into these fights?
I think he just got stalled a little bit. I do think that's a good point.
Well, speaking of fights, here it comes. But a nice stun onto Togebilly. Forcing the Lord of the Afterlife out there, but the Mercury almost stunned Blubber Ducky in place. Down he goes, Togebilly on the run. Nemesis all comes out onto getting cocky, so 1-for-1 trade so far. Oh, low health bars here. Actually, Eclipse will pick up another one. From him himself, 2 for 2. These fights are crazy, but boom, with a double beast stun coming in. And now we're seeing more Mercury getting heated, and he will die when he lands. Down he goes, triple kill for the Kittens of Mittens ADC.
Yeah, I did ever just look for a pick and try to back out a little bit, but I think I saw it just a bit longer. It didn't look like we could fight. Online, and Mercury only now got that online, which I'm sure he came up with a good play there, but it's been unfortunate he didn't have that online for the fight.
Iron Giant.
Also too cocky. It's just like Kali ult. If you have your Chiron ult up when you die, something went wrong.
Yeah, I mean, maybe just while expecting to get bursted so quickly. I mean, he also has beads up. Yeah. Very unfortunate there. It's never good to die with the beads up. Unless you just know you're dead, I guess, but...
Yeah. But Chiron ult could possibly win that fight around. I mean, Nemesis was respectably low near the end there, but it's a what if. 4 people with Fire Giant, though. When not having his Nem, which, you know, sucks if you're the Nem, but I mean, hey. Everyone else on the team has it. That's all that matters.
Well, this is definitely a different game from game 1. Kittens definitely having the advantage here. This draft for Trash Panda is not working out too well. I mean, the team's gotten some great taunts, but look at the Ymir, and Ymir just has been kind of a body.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what happens when you raise him solo and doesn't really get a leader or really anything going off for him. But for Trash Panda, all he needs is 1 lucky crit. 1 lucky crit on the Boom Hive. Or 1 lucky crit onto Spendig. Change the entire team fight in the entire game.
I mean, we still have no Spectrals from either tank, so Mercury crits are gonna hurt when if they don't pick that up.
This Fury, soon they actually again are looking to fight, possibly around, or maybe look for a flank. I mean, Oh, I don't like this positioning for them, but it looks like things will be a bit more passive than I thought they were positioning for.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just want to get the gold here, make sure they don't have a single chance of getting that to come back into this game. They do have only one tower left, so this should be an easy siege. Unfortunately, it is on the worst side for sieging. Well, or I would say, yeah, worst side in a sense like it's not as rewarding as getting the left lane Phoenix here, but obviously a Phoenix is a Phoenix in the end.
But I think they're looking for a fight. Even inside the tunnel. But I don't. You know what? I'm not even gonna say because I know if I say they don't fight till the next fight going out, they're gonna immediately look for a fight. So I'll just hold my tongue for now and let the game do the talking here for a few seconds. But it looks like with things coming out, they definitely are positioning for a fire giant instead. Rather than look for anything more.
Hey, interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like you could at least get that tower. Like you got a massive lead over Trash Pandas, but
I mean, if you get fire giant anyways, I mean that tower is nothing. So
yeah, but Fire Giant will come up for a good while. I feel like. I mean, I feel like you got enough time on it to get it, but I suppose playing the safe and more calculated route can work, but I don't know. I personally feel like they can easily take that, especially actually since they're split off. They do get the draw. Trash Pandas do get the draw here to make this siege on the tower if they go for it. A bit harder, but I still think they're able to take this fight very easily. But they're not going to go for it.
And that was a 3-2 split. That was a very dangerous split for that spot, but I mean, they positioned correctly and got away with it. So almost up back there, but fortunately, I believe it takes a little bit too long for that guy to play.
Well, Pyro going the way of Mittens. Unfortunately, Trash Pan is just not getting a single objective here. But they're still in it. I mean, if this Fire Giant might go self here for against Mittens.
Yeah, they do have good disruption around. I mean, Isis can reset. Pardon me again. Can definitely steal away with the ultimate or secure with her own ultimate. There's lots of disruption that they can have. I mean, between basically everyone except for the Chiron. I mean, Ymir has walls that can walk up the corridor. A Mercurial can come out of nowhere. He's looking Ranger combos that he has, and then you drop a beetle on someone, and suddenly there's a tank on your backline.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, I'm a little shocked we haven't even seen that used once this entire game, because that's a pretty scary combo if executed properly. But I haven't seen it. Fire Giant did just spawn. Because when Mittens are actually gonna start pulling it, gonna bait them into a fight. I mean, they're just shredding this thing. Holy moly! The Trash Pandas have to get in quick. They are gonna drop it for the fight. Ymir wall, a little off the mark. Just goes in and ults. Gets a bit of damage on, but that's about it. Ymir's gonna fall here. Down it goes. Ymir, boom, not picking up that kill. But on the other side, though, Lupin cuts him run away. There's still 3 ults left, and they're forced to back up here.
I mean, I guess it's clear out a little at this point, but ooh, look at that shield though.
Yeah, and then the ult, of course, making sure that Mercury isn't gonna take as much damage. But now, unfortunately, Athena is gonna fall. And on the other side, Ashen's just completely out of position, separated from the entire team, but will actually get out alive. But had to use the ultimate, so now no ults for Trash Pandas, and they're gonna go straight back to the Fire Giant.
I'm not sure why they dropped in the first place the first time around, but and now that there's no steel ult,
that was a beautiful stun, and unfortunately will not get the kill. Does force the Aegis here on the E set. Token Billy is looking for it, but actually has to back away, taking way too much damage. And you know what? They stopped KWM from securing this Fire Giant, so in a way, this is kind of a win. But they didn't get anything either, so it's like a weird neutralizer.
You know, I said one of the few to change the game, and Mercury at the off to the right side of that fight, he drops his one, but the one time it doesn't crit, is right there. And he doesn't get the kill on Boomhev because of it. It's really unfortunate because, I mean, you take down their AC and then this whole entire fight on the Fire Dragon becomes an entirely different scenario. But if you look at the relics right now, though, I mean, they're definitely in favor of Trash Pandas. Two sets of beads still up compared to only one set of beads and the support relics. They could take a fight, but they'll still have to play pretty clean.
I mean, Mercury is Lincoln Mercury with a lot of crit and no spectrals. If he can, that's true. He has fully finished and looks like a pause possibly coming out here for this game.
I'm looking to stall or just wait a little bit longer just so that Mercury gets Deathbringer, because that's definitely gonna be a tipping point in these fights. As long as Mercury can live, that is for 2.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah, I agree.
Kittens and Mittens just seemed disjointed around that Fire Giant fight. I mean, backline was doing one thing, the front line was doing another thing. I mean, that Fire Giant, that definitely should have been theirs, I think, earlier on in the fight, but they chose to get off, and it looks like then they did DC. But, I mean, I don't know. Hopefully that doesn't come to bite them, because we're reaching the point again where those, Mercury's getting very dangerous. And Ymir, I mean, he hasn't done much, but, he is a bit beefier than he once was.
I want to talk about Bastenda here. He has game 1 he played extremely well, even though they lost. But game 2 he's also been playing extremely well. This mid laner, man, I feel like he's definitely one of the star players on this kid in the squad. And like at least with my experience playing against him too, like I feel like even if they lose, like he plays extremely well. So
yeah, and he's been styling on Merlin. I mean, he's been doing those flicker roll combos, and that's all you need to do to get a 10 out of 10 in my book on Merlin. Well, that and hit abilities, but I mean, he's been hitting them. And he has Emblem of Ages online too, which I look over at the East set and I got no starter still. Going for another flat pen option.
My problem with the Issa build is I feel like she's gone for just all expensive items.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know where her build's going. It goes, yeah, Sharon's Coin, which is good, but then you can go for one of the more expensive items back to back, and now, I mean, depending on what pen you're looking for, it's either super expensive or maybe it's a bit cheaper, but I don't see much healing per se, so I don't think that's Divine Ruin.
Yeah, I'm not huge on this ESET build, or even this ESET pick. I feel like ESET just really hasn't been making. I mean, there's been a few good Spirit Balls, but I would like to have something more bursty, especially when you got Athena. Like, Athena's such easy confirm for your abilities. I just feel like picking the support mage is just not the play. I mentioned it in the picks and bans, but I would love to have seen like a Scylla or like a Raijin or something, like especially with how good Raijin is right now. Like,
I mean, the wrath of the Mongolian Empire is something you gotta fear. Those Bongas will stay for the team fight.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We are back into it. We do see Mercury pushing up the mid tower, though. I'm not too sure why they are so split, because Ashen's in mid, and then we got 3 in the back here. This is kind of weird.
They just Trash Pandas dominate, so they don't get pinched off in a bad way. Not the
yeah, they actually like Mercury short that tier 2, and now Nemesis is looking for him, but can't find him.
Look at that flank go on the left side. But
oh no! Oh, that's a big flaw. This is everything onto Boom, and now everything's down. They're super out of position. He's got an actual. Oh, that Athena top though is pretty nice. Will be able to get the shutdown on the Boom head, which is what they were going for. Oh, but Idrox coming in here with kill onto getting cocky, and Kittens and Mittens though are definitely gonna take this fight. And that's 3 members down. That's so unfortunate.
Fire Giant. I mean, they almost got turned around on that again when that ultimate popped, but just not enough healing for. Yeah, just again, too many miss abilities are in.
Oh no! Yeah, flag.
There's no way they stop it from this, right?
They are kind of low. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, the plug! Oh,
He gets stunned. The plug didn't go off properly.
that's so weird. What the heck? I mean, Athena's still dead here, but that's a super weird interaction. Does dash away. Lord of the Afterlife comes out. Actually, does force Billy to use the ultimate. This is actually working. They can't secure Fire Giant. I mean, they're gonna kill Light, but. Oh please! Oh no! Oh no!
Oh,
That's low. Got it.
yeah,
Yep.
that miss on the taunt, or that turning after the taunt definitely got her killed, but I mean,
Oh my god!
I'm surprised that play worked.
I mean, they didn't get Fire Giant.
Yeah, I mean, again, they lost their AC earlier. I mean, that could have been worse for Kittens. They definitely could have died there, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. Only Fear is up. Looks like there are 2 members over there, but everyone else at Kittens Women's besides Osiris is already at the Fire Giant pit, and it's EFG. This is not something you just kind of want to give up for free. Mercury is around, but I don't think he gets it. Only Fear was taken. It will help a little bit, but is he gonna be able to ult in time? He is looking for it. Does come in and actually steals away the Fire Giant movement. The madman, and this team has it. Unfortunately, Light won't have it, and movement will fall. But oh my goodness!
Just retreat track Pandas. Oh my!
Oh, yeah, get away! Take your win! Take your win! Oh my goodness!
That definitely came in too. That was a beautiful play. I mean, if anything, calculates the Mittens team, it's definitely that nice play.
Oh, I mean, they still are able to No, I don't know. They can't go in here. There's no way. 3 members of VFG. I mean, yeah, they are missing moving, but their ultimates are still up.
But the mirror walls, yeah, they can't push. I mean, if this game turns on its head off of that, you gotta feel so bad for Kittens with that.
Oh, they need to back. Yeah, I was like, they got back up. There's 40 waves too.
Oh no. The only thing that would have made that worse is if that wave going down mid or that wave going down left got a tower of Phoenix.
That would have been rough.
That was just beautiful play by the Pandas. I mean, the first wave with the Ymir and Athena going in, getting them off, and then I don't know how Mercury was just allowed to just bolt right down that perfect corridor. I mean, they had to stop DPS or, just say, hey, this guy's coming in, stop him. But, interesting split for now. It's, again, 3-2, like we saw them do earlier. Especially on that right wave. I mean, Mercury is global, but it's not as maneuverable with that long range.
This is very interesting because, like, spot for Trash Pandas is because they have 3 members of the EFG, right? Like, they can possibly even look to actually push, but they are still behind. But it looks like actually they will be looking to group up here on this left lane, get rid of that tier 2 tower.
I mean, the only difference at this point is actually not even the airing. I was gonna say they're missing a mage item on this Isa, but I think it is a mega team blade. So I can just really like this item, I suppose. But I mean, right now the gold is technically even. I mean, except for maybe 500 pots.
That's true. Yeah, maybe I guess maybe some upgrade relics and like you said the 500 pots, but that's not a huge shift. So looks like they are gonna finally group around this left side. Because Mittens could possibly look to defend this, but they might just play it safe and just let this go. I mean, it is 37 minutes in, so. Ooh, but this Phoenix push could be a bit more dangerous.
Obviously, very aggressive. I mean, no surprise from Billy, but it's definitely aggressive, to put it lightly.
The Chad playstyle. My question is,
do they I don't know about that. Dude, I mean, they have your mirror walls that get separated.
oh, but Yeah, the pluck in onto light. It's not a great spot. Now, boom. All forcing the beats out of Merc. Now, Merc's alone on this backline. I mean, these are 2 members without the EFG, but now that forces the rest of the team to back up. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, just I think I didn't use her beads there, and she got plucked. That's plain simple. But then Merc, he spent that time charging ult instead of actually like just trying to go in another way there. At that point, you just either punch them down normally, I'd say, or just do differently. Now running down mid, it's a 3v5. No FG at all anymore. Actually, they still have good disruption, but this Phoenix definitely could fall. Looks like the wave is coming in too, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, E-Set backed right there. That might be a little too late now. They are going ahead and freezes, but I don't think it's going to be enough, especially when you're focusing your damage onto the Sobek. And look how low they are. Oh my goodness. None of the Trash Pandas fall, but the bird sure does. Putting KWM back into the power position, and with EFG spawning, Trash Pandas got to get ready and get over there and try to stop this.
Yeah, but like we said last time, it's not a secured fire giant for sure.
That's true. I mean, I just hopefully they do a little bit better job of trying to zone. And obviously, you can only zone so much of Athena, but that working out. But I'm thinking of Athena. She lives? No way. Movement just deletes Drax on the backline, and now Heimdall has to ult away, and that massive basic from movement starting to be too much. That wall is stopping Sobek from being able to get out. That's a triple kill here for the jungler. Oh, but look how Jose Bastende is gonna get a return, actually a double return. Beats come out here for Bastende, but that, oh my goodness, that's just okay. But Mercury understands he's gotta back up, and now 4 members fall. Oh, do they? I don't know. They gotta worry about mid lane.
It's dangerous against the dangerous against the Merlin, that's for sure.
Yeah, Merlin's got some pretty good burst and defense potential, especially when he's 11-0-12. This man is hitting hard. It looks like they will just go for the left Phoenix as the wave's already pushed up, but their Titan's gonna take a bit of poke. But this is free. Oh god, but do that. This is rough. This is a rough call. They do have Chiron, but there is 10-second timers here for 2 members. Oh, they are actually gonna go for it. Bastende's gotta do whatever he can here. Oh, come on. Oh, he does use some abilities. Does get them below. Here comes Nemesis. About the 1 kill for Bastende. That's moving, gets a return kill, but Dydrox saves the Titan. And it is a deicide, but it's not really gonna matter too much as 2 members here are about to spawn, so
and this back up, so these mid waves don't mean anything. Right now in the Titan v Titan race, it's in the favor of Pandas.
Yeah, this is a very interesting position for both teams. I mean, KWM's Titan's pretty weak, but with the EFG still up and with 3 members on Trash Panda still down, I feel like this EFG is pulling KWM.
I wouldn't feel it quite yet until it's down.
Yeah, but with with the position of E7 here, they're just gonna let it go.
Here's a question. Do you think it's possible for them to sneak in Athena and Mercury on a backdoor?
You know, with Mid Phoenix down for Trash Pandas, I don't think so, because if they notice that, they have that EFG, which they can just go right through that thing.
Hey, on left side, I'm Kittens with Mittens. I think I definitely ward that left side of the map.
I don't blame you.
I mean, sure, it looks pretty healthy, but Mercury doesn't quite care about that health. I'm being honest, he's just gonna punch right through that thing.
It just depends if they want to risk it, because if that doesn't work out, it's game over. So,
yeah. Again, I'm a huge fan of those plays, but
me too. But I also understand from a competitive standpoint, maybe you just play the more safer, more, you know.
My last competitive game I ever played, it was me stopping 5 people while my team backdoor with Bastet and Nox. So
Oh my
anything's
goodness.
possible on these backdoors.
That's true. We do see Conky pushing up this right lane, actually, but with all 5 members of KWM pushing up left, this Phoenix is going to fall without question. They're not ready for this.
Mercury.
Yeah, Mercury. He actually might go for it. Oh, he's got the ult. Oh, he's got to go. He's got to go quick. He is. He's in the back. Oh, let me get the speed all coming in. Oh my goodness. He's running through this. This time's going to fall. Because my man's going to do anything. Oh my god. Oh, wow. You called it. I just from how they were playing and positioning themselves, I did not think they would go for it, but you absolutely called it. What a way to end that game. Oh, Kids with Mittens, I'm sure, is not happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, that again, like I said, that's just how their season has been. It's they almost get a fire giant, they don't, and then the Mercury steals it, and then this backdoor, it's just oh my god.
So you know, we talked about it before the set. Kids with Mittens, they might now they're 0-5, but look how they played. They played super well, and I mean, there's been a few displays, of course. That's welcome to Comp Smite, but they played super well, and they have been all season. But then stuff like this happens when they get backdoor and play Athena Mercury combo.
It doesn't matter how good you play when it just seems like an ethereal force is just telling you no.
That was.
Oh my god! I mean, like I said, I mean, I think they definitely need to get the wards out there. They definitely need to look for that type of play.
To be honest, well, once I noticed there wasn't that many people guarding the Phoenix, I would have sent a couple people to back to at least try to disrupt it. But I guess at that point though, it was too late because Mercury ulting through the lane just said absolutely not. My goodness.
Very smart by movement though to watch those waves and not get caught out at all until I think your markers does show up on Phoenix when you ult through it, but
yeah, but at that point it was too late.
Yeah, I mean, once the Mercury's there, it's too late. If no one's backing before he's at the time, it's too late.
Man, jeez, moving, you're nuts, bro. Like, oh my goodness, that was
look at
crazy.
that KDA from Merlin though. He
I know.
1 and 14.
I mean, look at even the rest of the team. I mean, 9-4-10, 9-3-15. I mean, 18. Even the tank stat lines are pretty good for tanks. But they had like a 12k gold lead at the time they were sieging that Phoenix. That's just so unfortunate.
You know what it took? Was 1 stray crit or the ult from Mercury.
Well, I mean, we could talk about this for days, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people talking about it for the rest of the day here in the league. But Trash Pandas / Red Team, if you're memeing in chat like some people were,
Red Pandas,
take it.
They're minor league team.
Yeah, they do take it 2-0 here today and for the Thor division, but don't be fooled. Kittens with Mittens, they might be 0-5, but this team, you got to respect them still. But anyway,